Respectful honorable friends, the day of Eid that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted us, what we should remember and realize is that all other religions also have a day of celebration and day of Eid. But the difference between our day of Eid and theirs is that our day of Eid is actually a day of ibadat and not merely a day of celebration. For them, the day of Eid is just a celebration where they eat and drink and go out and meet and that. But for Muslims, the day of Eid is actually an ibadat. As Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions, "Ma amila ibnu Adam, ma amilu amalan ibnu Adam ahabba ila Allah yawm an-nahri ahabba ila Allah min hiraq ad-dami." Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions that there is no action on the day of Nahar, meaning the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, that is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than that of sacrificing the animals. Which shows us that this day is specifically for what? For Qurbani, for the slaughtering. It is a specific for this ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not merely just for celebration and enjoying ourselves. Because it seems that as the years are going along, that our days of Eid are also becoming like the days of celebration of others. Where it is just merely a day wherein we'll wear good clothing, we'll meet and everything, and we'll have good food and this and that. It is becoming a day of celebration, of going out and that. Whereas Islam has given us the permissibility and allowed us that this is a day of enjoyment, wear good clothing, eat and drink to the best as well. But we should not forget the essence and the reality and the purpose of why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this day. And as I mentioned as well in Urdu, that every ibadah that we do and everything that we have, it has two forms to it. One is the physical body and the other is the soul. It's the way we are living today. If our soul is removed from us, we are no longer living. So for us to be living, we need to have the physical body and we need to have the soul. Both of these makes a person complete. Just the soul floating about without a body is nothing at all. Both need one another. And in the same way you find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a soul within our bodies. And then within our bodies, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us various organs and various abilities. For example, Allah ta'ala has given us sight. And within that sight, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given sight, our eyes, a separate soul. And the soul of the eyes is what? To be able to look. If the ability to look is removed from the eyes, we lose that. We've lost it. It doesn't mean that if that is lost from the eyes, then we can start seeing from our ears or from our nose. If that soul of the eyes has been taken out, you have lost it. So everything has its body and it has its soul. The soul of the day of Eid today is Qurbani. And if there is no Qurbani today, then we have removed the soul of this day. In other words, there is no day of Eid at all if there is no Qurbani. For that reason, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that the one who has not done Qurbani should not come to the Musalla, he should not come for the Eid Salah. Now this doesn't mean that this is the ruling, that if you haven't done Qurbani then it's not allowed for you. Obviously if Eid Salah is wajib upon you, then it's wajib, you have to come for Eid Salah. But Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is indicating and showing to us that look, this is how important Qurbani is, that if you haven't done Qurbani and Qurbani is wajib upon you, you haven't done the Qurbani, then you are not worthy of coming to the Eid Salah, because the Eid is for those who have actually fulfilled the root, the soul, the essence of this day, and that is the sacrifice, the Qurbani on this day. This is the essence. Although there is different opinion, according to Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, the Qurbani is wajib. And the other three Imams, Imam Shafi, Imam Malik and Ahmad, it is sunnah and muakkad according to them. But it just shows how important the Qurbani is. And that is the essence of today. And for that reason, we should not divert from the reality of the day of Eid. That in mere enjoying this day, in having good food, in meeting and that, we totally become oblivious and forget of what is the purpose of this day, as well as the great sacrifice of those individuals, the likes of Sayyidina Ibrahim and Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, upon whom due to which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted us the day of Eid. We should not forget that. Many of us, we just enjoy the day of Eid, find, oh good, we've got a day of Eid, day off from work, and for those who do, and a nice day of Eid, and just celebrate, wear good clothes and go out and eat and that. Totally forget. So many Muslims do not even know of the Qurbani, the sacrifice of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. And finally, even Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he was willing to sacrifice his own son. And Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salatu salam himself was willing to sacrifice himself for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't ask that in return from us, that you sacrifice your sons and the sons sacrifice themselves. But all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks from us is, look, فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَا وَتَلَّهُ لِلْجَبِينِ. Look, just the way they were obedient to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sayyidina Ibrahim in carrying out the slaughter, and Sayyidina Ismail being prepared for the slaughter, in the same way you also be prepared to submit yourself and be so obedient to me, that whenever any command of mine is so difficult for you to fulfill, then too you fulfill those commands of mine. That whenever all those things that I have made haram for you, and you are so inclined towards these things, just the way Ibrahim was so attached to his son, Ismail was attached to his life, but they were still willing to sacrifice that. All those disobedience and all those haram things that you are so attached towards, sacrifice that for my sake as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all the ability and understanding. Inshallah, we shall begin by performing the Eid Salah. And the Eid Salah, the format is that we make the intention. If not verbally, in the hearts, let's make the intention that we performing the 2 rakats wajib Salah behind the Imam with the extra 6 takbir. And the format is that in the first rakat, the Imam will do the opening takbir. Thereafter, the usual sana will be recited. After the sana, 3 extra takbirs will be recited. The first 2, at the end of the first 2, the hands will be left on the side. On the third one, the hands will be fastened. The Surah Fatiha in the Surah will be recited, Ruku Sujood as normal. Then in the second rakat, there will be Qira'at first, and then there will be the recitation of the Surah Fatiha and the Qira'at. And then prior to going into Ruku will be there's 3 extra takbirs. Here on all 3 you'll keep your hands loose, and then on the 4th takbir will go into Ruku. And then the Salah is normal. And at the end of that there will be the takbir at-tashriq as well. And then there will be the 2 khutbahs which we should listen to as well. So in this way we perform the Eid Salah, if you straighten yourselves.